Hello everyone! Today I was inspired by Chanel Fashion Show 2024. There was a small hair accessory, a black bow made of straight, thick ribbon. While I was making my daughter tutu skirt, I had an idea to create something soft, flowy but not flimsy bow. I made out of sleeve dress that I hadn't used it. I was about to donate it, and I made it pretty fast, this beautiful bow, and I'll show you how I made it. Okay, let's get started. I have this polyester chiffon sleeve dress. First, I'm going to make a long tails of the bow from the bottom of that sleeve dress. I already cut this dress somewhere in the middle. Then I'm gonna cut one side of the dress through the seam, and it will become a long piece of the fabric. Now I need to fold the long side in the half and leave the piece in the air. I'll do this to see if the fabric will lay down nicely, naturally, and I see they're very uneven. I knew it would happen because the whole sleeve dress was made on bias cut. But it doesn't matter, that's what I need. I'm gonna just trim the uneven parts and press with iron. I'm using the iron to see a better shape of my future bow tails. Also, I use the pins to make sure that the fabric wouldn't move. The ends of the tails I cut at an angle. I gathered my future tails right in the middle. I lifted up to see how it will look like. I think it looks beautiful. Now it's time to sew the ribbon all around the edges and leave a small hole somewhere in the middle to turn it out. I'm not trying to follow the edge, I just make sure that my stitch is straight, then I trimmed it. While I'm sewing, the fabric moves, but I'm not trying to align it. It's better that fabric would align itself. I just make sure that my stitch is straight. Again, it happens because it's bias cut and it's normal. After that, I trim a seam allowance and I leave it very small. It comes together nicely. Finally, I turned it out on the right side and I can gather it right in the middle. My ribbons, soft ribbons or tails, whatever you can call, are ready. If you are new to my channel, my name is Katarina. On my channel, I'll do professional sewings and alterations. I have sewing techniques and pattern making education and more than 15 years of garment making experience. And here, I would like to share my experience with you. Now, I'm going to create a bow from the top of the sleeve dress. I need to cut a good rectangle size to make a bow, and I trim around unnecessary extra fabric. That fabric also cuts in bias and it's very hard to work. It moves and it's not laying nicely. The fabric is too soft to hold any shapes, but I'll show you the trick. So my trick is to use the mesh fabric as I use for tutu skirt underneath of the bow. First, I'm laying down a mesh fabric, and on top of the mesh, I put my blue, soft, silky polyester chiffon rectangle piece. I'm trying to find the right size of my future bow because two pieces are very uneven. Now I'm going to fold two pieces of the fabric right in half, and I'll measure it about 10 inches and a half long and about 6.5 width of the bow. This is going to be the size of my bow. I cut the sides that are uneven and I will stitch together the long side of my rectangle. After that, I trimmed the seam allowance and I moved by using a hand right in the middle and move like this and flatten with the iron. Then I'm going to stitch the top and the bottom of my rectangle, but I will leave the small hole again to turn it out. It's too early to be excited, but the hardest part is done. The bow is almost ready, but there will be a lot of hand sewing. There's many options how you can fold the bow and they will look completely different, and you can play around and see which way you like it. If you notice, the bow right now is holding the shape because of the mesh inside the bow. Let me try a few options how I can gather it to that bow. I think I like this better. Now it's a hand stitching part that will take a little while, but it's worth it. I'm gathering the bow and slowly moving that needle between the folds. Here we go, I'm gonna tie it right in the middle. And now I'm gonna need a little piece that will hold together a bow and a tail. I didn't measure the size of that piece, I just fold a few times, make sure that it didn't see through, that's why I fold like a few layers, and I didn't make it too wide. It just came out like that by eye. I think I will leave that way. Now I'm gonna attach that piece to the bow by using regular needle and hand stitch. Now I'm gonna trim that piece that I attached to the bow, but I'm gonna leave the other one. I press down with the iron to make sure it holds the shape. Now I'm gonna add an elastic and also I will attach to the bow. You can definitely finish this bow just like that without long strings, long tails. It's definitely useful and pretty this way. But I have these beautiful tails and I'm going to use it, and it's very easy to add to the bow. First, I need to gather them together again with the hand sewing and tie them together. And I have to put that piece at the bottom of the bow and cover with the middle piece. And sew together the last stitch. Make sure you stitch together very carefully few layers and the elastic and the bow and the tails and the middle part, so this way it will be very strong together. Finally, the bow is done. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.